Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times with Scar here, and welcome back to StudTech, where we take modded building to the extreme. And we're here in the frontiers of StudTech, touring our now complete Wild West fort with Commander's house and all sorts of other amazing details. So let's get this tour underway. Alright, and welcome back, and it's great to have you here for this design inspiration tour of our Wild West build. So before we start, if you enjoyed this series and all the designs and all the builds, definitely leave a like rating on the video to let me know if you guys enjoyed the series. And as we tour, definitely let me know in the comments what your favorite room or design or build was in this whole StudTech project. And let's get this tour underway here, and we're in the forest area of the StudTech fort. In this area, we've got lots of amazing little plant life and landscaping details. We have our stumps on our right-hand side here, so of course the occupants of the fort got to get their logs somewhere, so of course they've got them all along here. And as you can see in this region over here, it's a little bit more foresty, but as we get closer to the fort, starts to become a little less dense. We have more logs here and there, and of course we had a little axe sticking out of that particular log. But let's go straight in to see the house. So that's where I want to start our tour, and that's with the Fort Commander's house. So the Fort Commander's who's in charge of the whole region, and of course he has a grand and beautiful house. So let's jump right into the foyer here and start touring the interior design, because I think this is where the fort really shines. So we're here in the foyer, so we're looking at all the beautiful details. So we have the staircase going up, we have carpet, grandfather clock, and look at that intricate ceiling. And then on this wall here, we have our different weapons and different things like that to keep all those bandits and wild animals and all sorts of good stuff at bay and away from the fort walls. So let's take a look at that grandfather clock. Oh man, isn't that thing amazing? And then we have some luggage under the staircase. And let's go into our first and one of our main rooms of the house, and that is the living room. So the living room has custom furniture down here, made with micro blocks, of course. And then from the furniture mod, we have a beautiful coffee table. The chisel mod too came from this carpet there, and of course Deco craft on this side over here. But look at those windows. Don't they have a great kind of Frank Lloyd Wright style craftsman, inspiration to them? Oh, I absolutely love these window designs along here. And of course here is our fireplace. So we got lots of beautiful details built in with bookshelves and windows on either end, and of course it's scar safe, so we know that it's not going to burn down with our lava stone there. And yeah, so that is of course our living room, looking very, very fancy. And then moving into our dining room. So this is our dining room. So we've got our chandelier and our chairs, and of course look at all this food. Look at all this food. It's amazing. Look at these plates where we can actually stack food to really give it that feeling that this is a dining room. People are eating, people are having some good times, things of that nature, and I'm loving that. So let's actually head out and go to one of my personal favorite rooms in the house, and that is the Fort Commander's office. So this is where he conducts his business for the fort. So we have our bookshelves, we have our custom shelving units in the back there, all built with, of course, micro blocks. And then let's take a look at the desk here. All sorts of beautiful details on here. We've got a map of the region, so that's pretty cool. We got candles, schedules, and a little bit of gold. And of course, a phone, a typewriter, all sorts of good stuff. And then back here, these are actually functional storage units. So there we go. Look at that. Awesome. Let's put one of our bobs in there for fun. There we go. Keep one creeper at bay. And then, of course, there's trophies on the walls here. And the most prized trophy of them all, Bob, the building creeper inspector himself, just pedestaled right there, looking so cool. Haha. But let's actually head inside here, and this is the armory of the fort. So we've got all of our different kind of weapons and different things like that to keep the fort safe, all stored away in here. We have the Flans mod equipment set up, got a few details on the ground here, like a bear trap and a cannon. But don't you love these doors? Watch this. Oh, that's amazing, except it broke. I broke the doors. Oh, there they go. Ah, wonderful. But anyway, let's head into our kitchen. So this is our kitchen for the fort. So we've got our stove down at the end there. We have a small little sink built in there, but just lots and lots of little pieces of detail here and there. And that's what I love about modded Minecraft, and how we're really able to pull so much kind of like energy into our builds with all these different details. We have our food stacked up, our honey pots, and what is that, a tea set, all sorts of great stuff that really make these builds really come to life. And that's what I miss in vanilla Minecraft. More of these detail and decorational blocks would be so amazing to have in vanilla. And of course, there's our big stove up there with all sorts of different colors of, brick. Oh, and then let's head out to the backyard real quick. And of course, that's a doghouse, but we like to call it the jelly house. So that's where my cat lives out there, and just lots of little bits of detail in the back. But we'll tour the environment around the fort in a little bit. Let's actually head up to the upper level. And like I said before, if you see one of these rooms that's your favorite, definitely let me know which one is your favorite in the comments. There we go. And let's head up to our landing. So this is where we have our staircases kind of going up and down, and of course some bookcases and some different things hanging from the walls. And we also have a really cool design on the ceiling. So as you can see, some really beautiful crown molding around. But let's actually start over here in this hallway. And there, of course, we've got a little dresser, a clock, and phone on this side. And let's go into the bathroom, of course. So we got our bathroom set up. Now this is a kind of a Wild West theme, but I'm not sure if they would or wouldn't have had plumbing at this point, but it's Minecraft. What the heck, we've got it. Let's do it. Let's try it. Anyway, so let's that's my shovel. I would like that back, thank you. Anyway, this is of course our shower and tub, so built up, looking very beautiful. And then we have our toilet, of course, and toilet paper. That's very important. You really don't want to forget that. Anyway, this is our sink, and we have this kind of cool design here for a mirror. So yeah, kind of a small but beautiful little bathroom all set up and we're ready to go. So let's go down the hallway and move into our master bedroom. So this was all custom built with the micro blocks and the carpenter's blocks to create one beautiful bed. So as you can see, the little curtains, watch this, watch this. Are you guys ready to be amazed? Because I'm about to blow your mind. Watch this. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Watch this. Let's get that one close. Oh, don't you love that? It so looks like an old-fashioned bed. I love it. So over here, of course, we have our baby cradle, a little harp, just little things to make it feel more alive and more, things going on within the house. And some his and hers, dressers on the side with a nice wardrobe, and just a little changing area back here to, get ready in the morning, and a little backpack on the ground. Just little bits of detail like that just make the place feel alive. And then we've got this other hallway, so we've got some stuff to set up on the walls and some more little weapons and different things like that. But let's head into this room. So this is more of a teenager's room, if you will. So something that I feel like the person who occupies this room really likes science, so they're really into that. So they've got lots of little details around here. So let's explore that. We've got our potion bottles, books, and of course they've been up to something over here. Somebody's got to get a mop in here and clean this up. We can't have that spilling all over the place. And then we've got a microscope and a telescope. Oh, I want to so look through that. Then a little world globe, but the crown piece of the room, of course, is the custom bed. So all built once again with DecoCraft, or not DecoCraft. This was custom built with microblocks and carpenters. And so you can just see lots of cool little details, and it just really got a really cool kind of old-fashioned feel to it. And so hopefully you guys are finding some things in this house that kind of are giving you inspiration for your own builds. And I think one place you definitely can find that is some of these beds. And by the way, the people of the fort got a great deal on green blankets, so that's why there's green blankets all over the place. And yeah, so that is that room. And let's move down to this room over here. And this is more of a young child's room, so maybe even twins. So we have 2 bunk beds set up and we're ready to go. So these things are super cool. Look at those beds. So similar to the other one, just scaled a little different. And of course, adding an additional bed on top. And of course, if you missed any of these videos and you want to go back and watch how each one of these rooms was built, you can definitely take a look at the StudTech playlist and find any of the particular videos that you're looking for. And look at the ceiling. Look at the ceiling. Oh, isn't that amazing? Oh, I love it. I could stare at that forever. Look at those cool little designs along there. And of course the windows. And then down below here, we have some blocks, a train, and of course, this looks like fun. I want to get on this rocking horse and just start rocking around, I guess. And then of course, sandcastle. There's lots of little bits of detail. And is that a xylophone? I feel like that's a xylophone, but I'm not 100% sure. And of course, a squid looking good. But as you could look out the window here, you can see the plant life and the trees and the towers and all sorts of good stuff. And that's kind of the main design of the, I was about to say the main design and we're wrapping up, but no, there's actually another room. And this, of course, is the library. So this was kind of an awkward room that I thought this would make a perfect library. And I think it became one of my actual favorite rooms of the house, especially with that beautiful lamp up there. I love it. Oh, I love that lamp up there. It's one of my favorite things in the house. But anyway, you can see some beautiful chairs. And of course, this fireplace is scar safe, of course, so we don't have to worry about anything burning down. That's lava stone in there once again. And then we've got our books all set up on either end. And yeah, just lots of beautiful details. So let's actually sneak out the door here. And we can kind of look out over the entire fort here. We have eagles soaring, we have our horses, donkeys, and of course the furniture shop and the blacksmith down there. Little areas where you can just sit and have something to eat, or come on down here real quick. Check this out. Over here, we can play with this old camera right here, looking very fancy. But let's just do a quick little kind of look at the house. So that's kind of the main design of the house. Very old-fashioned. We have shutters on the windows. Beautiful old design. I think it looks very cool. So let's actually head down here. And you can see it with a lot of older houses, they would build up, out the frontier, a lot of rock, a lot of river rock and things up onto the columns. So that's what we did. And I think that came out pretty cool. Let's actually go onto this balcony over here. We have some rocking chairs and of course, as you can see, the shutters, and we can kind of peer inside the room looking very fancy. And then down here, a little bit of artistic nature to this area. So these are kind of a little area where you can, sit on a little pedestal, do a little painting, a little bit of art. I think that came out really nice. But yeah, that is the main fort. But let's actually tour the rest of the fort after the night has gone away. So let's have a quick sleep, and I'll be right back. Good morning here. Just doing a little bit of work here in the fort commander's office. And let's get back to our tour. So let's head outside now. So we took a look at the house, but let's take a look at some of these side buildings. We'll start here with the furniture shop. So this is a shop where you're able to go and build your Deco craft, build your Ugamashimtel things. Ugamashimtel is one of the coolest mods in StudTech, and it requires quite a bit of work. So of course we have our saws from it, and then here's our table saw built up along here. We have storage on either side, so lots of good amount of storage. Cool little crafting table, and then of course here is our press from Ugama once again, and we have our linseed oil, our sandpapers, all the necessary things that make it possible to make some of the cool furniture that you saw in the house. So let's go inside here. This is of course our Deco craft bench, and we've got a little bread because sometimes furniture just makes me want bread, so apparently there's some bread there, and a Rubik's cube. That's just sitting there because apparently that's a thing. But anyway, let's move on and let's take one more look at our furniture shop. I think it came out pretty nice. It's definitely got that kind of old Wild West craftsman design. Once again, you could see the river rock piled up there, and just lots of little details, little crates and little leaf piles and all sorts of beautiful little details along there. But let's actually sneak on over here, and this is the blacksmith. So the blacksmith is pretty cool. So he's got all sorts of cool little things around here. As you can see around some of the stone that makes up kind of the walkway, you can see how the dirt's kind of eroded in around it, giving it way more dimension and a lot more realistic nature to it. So you can see some coal built up along here and some piles of, a little bit of gold, a little bit of iron, different things like that that are being smelted down. And of course, there's some more details along here, an anvil, coal to keep the flame up, and some boxes and stuff like that. Inside here, you have a quill and paper for, of course, your ledger for who still needs to be paid or things of that nature. And of course, all your modifiers, tools, and all that good stuff. And then chests along here with all the necessary details that you need to work with tinkers and all that good stuff. And also having that realistic feel. And yeah, so let's actually head up to the towers. So, of course, that cannon is amazing, by the way. Just want to point that out. Oh, and I don't think I even mentioned how cool these gates are. Look at these gates. These were actually the first thing I ever did with microblocks. So I wanted to make something more realistic with the gate, and I think we were able to accomplish that pretty well. So I was kind of proud about that, for that was the very first thing I did with microblocks. So let's actually head into the towers. So these are our towers. You can see another one way down at the end there. And we can head up here, and we can also get off the tower staircase, kind of look out over the fort. And if we want to go all the way back up to the top, we can find the cannons. That's right. These are cannons. They shoot, and they're amazing. And by the way, I don't use them anymore because I don't want to destroy all the landscaping that I put so much time into. So they don't get a lot of use anymore. So you can see we don't want to blow up any of our, precious things that we work so hard on. But you can see all sorts of cool things from the top of the towers. There's the eagles soaring once again. So we can make our way back down. We can go through a little door here, and you can see these beautiful little kind of areas where we can kind of look out over the fort. And then each corner of the fort actually has a tower of its own. And we can kind of look down here to see who's trying to break the walls down. So we can kind of look out over the trail, and we can head out down here, and it's looking kind of cool, definitely. So this is one of my favorite views of the actual fort, is kind of from this angle. I feel like you can kind of see all the cool little details of the area. But let's actually go out to the front, kind of where we left off before we went inside. And we'll start right off by our axe. So as you kind of approach over here, you can kind of see lots of cool little things. We have carrot barrels, lots of little rocks, stumps, plants, all that good stuff. You can see the trail, how it's all kind of rocky and uneven, but it kind of has a little bit of a flow to it for you to follow. You got your stumps. See how we did that with the collapsible blocks. And then up here we have our foundation. So I didn't want the logs just to be stuck into the ground. I wanted a little bit of rock to be built up around them just to give it a foundation and a little place to play checkers. I feel like this area is kind of peaceful, and that's kind of the way people roll. And if you follow this trail down here, you can find this cool little hut. And this little hut here has your hang gliders, your of course, your parachutes, different things like that you can use to jump off the platform for fun. So we built this all on Twitch, actually, right along here, these two things along this section, and super awesome. So this is actually another one of my favorite views of the fort. This looks kind of cool looking up this direction. And let's just fly along here with our angel ring, and you can see the little plant life and just lots and lots of little details around here just to make this area feel really natural, and that there is, kind of people kind of living in this area, making this their home. And you can see all the different logs. See how the logs are really kind of close together, and a lot of them closer to the fort. But then as you get farther away, they start to disappear and the trees get to be a little thicker. Just giving it that immersion that, you're kind of parting the trees and clearing out a nice little place to live along here. And the detail just kind of flows along. You can see the walls, how they have lots of different shapes and sizes to them to give it more variety. And you can see more stumps as you get closer to the walls. And yeah, this is my last final spot I want to show you guys here. This is one of my favorite angles too, to kind of see it. It'd be cool if you're on a long journey out in the western terrain, and you all of a sudden see that flag blowing in the distance after a long and treacherous journey. You're like, I'm home, finally back to my fort. But yeah, that is the fort, my friends. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this build and seeing all these details come together. This was a huge learning experience for myself, learning all the different mods in Minecraft and trying to figure out how we can leverage them in a way of creating cool and immersive designs within Minecraft. And hopefully you enjoyed this and was able to get some inspiration for your own builds. And like I said, if you enjoyed this series, definitely leave a like and definitely let me know what you enjoyed, what you think could have been improved. And yeah, so until next time, my friends, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And until next time, we'll see you later. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter.